Friends, this is the third video of organisms of health and agricultural importance. Continue to animal diseases. So, now let's start with pneumonia. Pneumonia has many possible causes, but it is usually an infection of the streptococcus or mycoplasma bacteria. These bacteria can live in the human body without causing infection for years and only surface when another illness has lowered the person's immunity to disease. Streptococcus pneumonia causes streptococcal pneumonia, the most common kind, which is more severe than mycoplasmal pneumonia. S pneumonia is responsible for more than 1 lakh hospitalizations for pneumonia annually, as well as 6 million cases of otitis media and over 60,000 cases of invasive diseases such as meningitis. Now, let's know about another disease, viral gastroenteritis. Rotavirus, it is caused due to rotavirus. Rotavirus is the most common cause of viral gastroenteritis worldwide. It kills more than 6 lakh children each year, mostly in developing countries. Symptoms include vomiting, watery diarrhea, fever, and abdominal pain. Now, let's know about schistosomiasis. Schistosomiasis is a parasitic disease that is endemic in many developing countries. Roughly 200 million people worldwide are infected with the flockworm, whose eggs cause the symptoms of the disease. Some 120 million of those infected are symptomatic and 20 million suffer severely from the infection. Symptoms include rash and itchiness soon after becoming infected, followed by fever, chilly, coughing, and muscle aches. Now let's know about sigellosis. Sigella, this is due to Shigella infection. Shigella infection causes an estimated 6 lakh deaths worldwide every year. It is most common in developing countries with poor sanitation. Shigella bacteria cause bacillary dysentery or shigellosis. Symptoms include diarrhea with bloody stool, vomiting, and abdominal cramps. Now, let's know about strep throat. Strep throat is caused by the Streptococcus bacteria. Several million cases of strep throat occur every year. Symptoms include sore throat, fever, headache, fatigue, and nausea. Now let's know about tuberculosis. Tuberculosis causes nearly 2 million deaths every year, and whose estimates that nearly 1 billion people will be infected between 2000 and 2020 if more effective preventive procedures are not adopted. The TB bacteria, tuberculosis in short, TB bacteria are most often found in the lungs where they can cause chest pain and a bad cough that brings up bloody phlegm. Other symptoms include fatigue, weight loss, appetite loss, chills, fever, and night sweats. Now let's know about typhoid. Typhoid fever causes an estimated 6 lakh deaths annually out of 12 to 17 million cases. It is usually spread through infected food or water. Symptoms include a sudden and sustained fever, severe headaches, nausea, severe appetite loss, constipation, and sometimes diarrhea. Now let's know about yellow fever. Yellow fever causes an estimated 3 lakh deaths each year out of 2 lakh cases. 30,000 deaths each year out of 2 lakh cases. The disease has two phases. The acute phase symptoms include fever, muscle pain, headaches, severe appetite loss, nausea, and vomiting. This lasts for 3 to 4 days, after which most patients recover. But 15% will be enter the toxic phase, in which fever reappears along with other symptoms including jaundice, abdominal pain, vomiting, bleeding from the mouth, nose, eyes, stomach, and deterioration of kidney function. And half of all patients in the toxic phase die within 2 weeks. The other half recover. Now let's know about cattle and other domestic animals disease. The world cattle population is estimated to be about 1.3 billion head, with about 30% in Asia, 20% in South America, 15% in Africa, 14% in North and Central America, and 10% in Europe. The 10 states in the US with the largest cattle populations are Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota, Montana, Kansas, Iowa, Kentucky, and Florida. This section has a listing common diseases of cattle. Now let's know about anaplasmosis. Anaplasmosis is a vector-borne infectious blood disease in cattle caused by Rickettsia parasites, Anaplasma marginally, and Anaplasma centrally. It occurs primarily in warm tropical and subtropical areas. The disease is not contagious but is transmitted most commonly by ticks. It can also be transmitted via contaminated needles, dehorning equipment, castrating, castrating knives, tattoo instruments, biting flies, and mosquitoes. The intracellular parasite destroys red blood cells. It causes anemia, fever, weight loss, breathlessness, uncoordinated movements, abortion, and death. Now let's know about another disease, pasture blot. Blot is a form of severe indigestion marked by a collection of gas in the rumen that the animal is unable to expel. Normal digestive processes create gases consisting chiefly of carbon dioxide and methane in the rumen. Most of the gases are eliminated by belching. Gases that are trapped may form a foam or froth in the rumen, which further prevents their elimination. Froth formation can be caused by many factors resulting from interactions between the animal, rumen microorganisms, and differences in plant biochemistry. The main causes of blot are an inherited tendency for blot, certain proteins in forage, the coarseness of the roughage, and the type of rumen microbial population. Pasture blot usually occurs in animals grazing wheat pasture, lost legumes, or fed green chopped legumes. Now let's know about black leg. Black leg. Black leg is a highly fatal disease of young cattle caused by the spore forming rod shaped gas producing bacteria Clostridium chauvoei. The spores of the organism can live in the soil for many years. The bacteria enter the calf by ingestion and then gains entrance to the body through small punctures in the mucous membrane of the digestive tract. Cattle that are on a high plane of nutrition, rapidly gaining weight and between 6 months and 2 years of age are most susceptible to the disease. The disease is not transmitted directly from sick animals to healthy animals by mere contact. Blackleg is almost entirely preventable by vaccination. The most commonly used clostridial vaccination in cattle is the 7-way type preventable by vaccination. The most commonly used clostridial vaccination in cattle is the 7-way type, which protects against Clostridium chauvoei. that is black leg, Clostridium septicum and Clostridium sordelli, Clostridium novi, that is black disease, and three types of Clostridium perfringens, that is enterotoxemia. Now let's know about anthrax. Anthrax, a highly infectious and fatal disease of mammals and humans, is caused by a relatively large spore-forming rectangular-shaped bacterium called Bacillus anthracis. Most outbreaks occur in areas where animals have previously died of anthrax. As the spores remain viable for decades, the predominant sign in cattle with anthrax is a progression from a normal appearance to death in a matter of hours. Most animals are simply found dead. Once an outbreak begins in the herd, animals may be observed with signs of weakness, fever, excitement, followed by depression, difficulty breathing, on, uh, uncoordinated movements, and convulsions. Bloody discharges from the natural body openings as well as edema in different parts of the body are sometimes observed. After death, the animal's body rapidly decomposes. Now, let's know about brucellosis. Of cattle, also known as contagious abortion and Banks disease, is caused by infection with the bacterium Brucellosis abortus, which can also cause a disease of humans known as on undulant fever. Brucellosis infection of cattle causes abortion of premature calving of recently infected animals, most often between the 5th and 8th month of the pregnancy. Although federal and state regulations have helped to control this disease, there is still a threat. Infected cows frequently suffer from retard after birth, are difficult to get rebred, and sometimes become sterile. Now let's know about BAC or mad cow disease. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, in short BAC, or we can say it mad cow disease, is a progressive degenerative disease that affects to central nervous system of cattle. It belongs to a group of similar and distinct neurological diseases including Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, in short CJD, in humans. The, the cause of BAC is unknown and there is no known treatment for this fatal disease. Now let's know about BVD, bovine virus diarrhea. BVD infection can cause numerous problems such as damage to the digestive and immune systems, pneumonia, abortions, deformities, and others. Clinical signs in newborn calves infected with BVD include fever, nasal discharge, diarrhea, and inability to move about normally. Now let's know about scores. Scores or calf diarrhea causes more financial loss to cow calf producers than any other disease related problem they encounter. But calf scores is not a disease but a symptom of a disease which can have many causes. In diarrhea, there is a discharge of more fluid than normal form of the bowel, often more frequently than normal. The discharge can be white, yellow, grey, or blood stained and is often foul smelling. Although more common in hand reared calves, it can also occur in calves which are being suckled by their mothers. The infectious agent and that cause scores can be a virus, that is BVD, rotavirus or coronavirus, bacteria, that is E. coli, salmonella or enterotoxemia or protozoa, that may be coccidiosis, and maybe cryptosporidium. Now let's know about cancer. Cancer bovine occurs. Neoplasia includes a variety of benign and malignant skin tumors of the eyeball and eyelids. Benign tumors are growths that do not spread to other parts of the body and do not tend to grow into surrounding tissues. They can cause local problems with eye function but do not affect the rest of the body. Malignant tumors are growths of cells that spread to other parts of the body and tend to invade surrounding tissues. Clearly, it is in the cattlemen's best interest from an economic, human, and public perception standpoint to treat or market cattle with cancer eye as soon as practical. Now, let's know about coccidiosis. Coccidiosis continues to be one of the major disease problems for cattle producers. It is caused by microscopic one-celled parasites. Coccidiosis occurs more frequently in calves from 1 to 6 months of age, but old cattle, especially those from 1 to 2 years, are often affected. Young calves are usually infected when they are placed in pastures or lots contaminated by old cattle or other infected calves. Occasionally, mature cattle are infected when they are brought in from large pastures and crowded into small feedlots or bands. Now let's know about another disease called foot and mouth. Foot and mouth disease is a severe, highly communicable disease of cattle, pigs, sheep, goat, and deer. It is caused by one of the smallest disease producing viruses known. There are several different strains of the virus that cause the disease. The strain now in England and Europe is harder on the pigs and cattle but milder in sheep and goats. Humans do not catch the virus. The disease is characterized by blister like lesions on the tongue, nose, and lips, in the mouth, on the teeth, and between the toes, which then burst, leaving painful ulcers. The blisters cause a heavy flow of sticky, foamy saliva that hangs from the mouth. Infected animals sway from one foot to the other due to the tenderness of the feet. Although older cattle usually do not die from the infection, they suffer a severe illness which leaves them in a weakened state. They have high fever, stop eating, give less milk, and become lame. Now let's know about foot rot. It's due to Fusobacterium necrophorum and bacteroids melaninogenicos are the predominant bacteria isolated from foot rot. Foot rot occurs in cattle of all ages, but it is most common in adults. The disease is seen year round, but there is increased incidence in the wet summer and fall months. Now let's know about grass tetany. Grass tetany is a serious, often fatal metabolic disorder characterized by low levels of magnesium in the blood serum of cattle. It is also called grass stagger and pasture poisoning. It primarily affects older cows, nursing calves less than 2 months old, but it may also occur in young or dry cows and growing calves. It happens most frequently when Cattle are grazing succulent, immature grass and often affect the best cows in the herd. Now let's know about another disease, infectious bovine rhinotracheotis. Infectious bovine rhinotracheotis is an acute contagious virus disease of cattle, often implicated as an infection which initiates the seeping fever complex. This in the air passages of the head and the windpipe. However, in females, this virus also causes inflammation of the vulva and vagina and abortion. Abortion occurs about 20 to 45 days after infection. Now let's know about external parasites. Horn flies, face flies, stable flies, ticks, lice, and mites are the major external parasites in beef cattle. Now let's know about John's disease. Jaundice disease. Jaundice disease, pronounced Y-O-Nis or paratuberculosis. Tuberculosis. Paratuberculosis is a chronic wasting disease that causes considerable production losses in adult cattle, sheep, goats, deer, llamas, elk, and bison, and other ruminants. The disease is caused by Mycobacterium paratuberculosis, a bacterium related to tuberculosis. Now let's know about lepto. At least 5 species of Leptospira, a corkscrew like bacteria, affect cattle in the United States. The species most commonly found are Harzo, Icterohemorrhagia, Canicola, L. pomona, and Gryptifossa. The most common species affecting cattle is L. pomona. Multiple abortions in the breeding herd is often the first sign of the disease. The clinical signs in adult cattle are yellow mucous membranes and bloody appearing urine, which are seen only occasionally. The milk of lactating cows may become thick, yellow, and blood tinged. Abortion 2 to 5 weeks after infection is common, but most occur about the 7th month of gestation. Now let's know about listeriosis. Listeriosis, a disease of the central nervous system, is caused by the bacterium Listeria monocytogenes. This bacterium can live almost anywhere in soil, manure piles, and grass. Listeriosis is common in cattle, sheep, and goats and can occur in pigs, dogs, and cats, some wild animals, and humans. Animals infected with listeria can show signs restlessness, loss of appetite, fever, and nervous system disorders. Now, although not seen in every case, the most notable symptom gives this disease its nickname, circling disease. Cattle with listeriosis are often seen walking in circles. Now let's know about lymphy jaw. Actinomycosis or lymphy jaw produces immovable hard swelling on the upper and lower jaw bones of the cattle, commonly at the central molar level. It is caused by an anaerobic microorganism, Actinomyces bovis. The bacterium invades tissue through breaks in the lining of the mouth caused by eating raw flesh. The tumor-like swellings develop slowly and may take several months to reach a noticeable size. The lymph jaw may be well advanced before external signs are visible. The lumps consist of honeycombed masses of thin bone filled with yellow pulp. If neglected, the swelling may become very large. In advanced cases, openings develop and discharge small amounts of sticky pus containing gritty yellow granules. Now let's know about neosporosis. Neosporosis is found worldwide and causes to financial losses through embryonic losses, abortion, killed cattle, and reduced milk production. Neospora caninum is a microscopic protozoan parasite that causes the disease neosporosis. Neosporosis is a major cause of abortion in cattle. Abortion can occur anytime throughout gestation. Now let's know about wooden tongue. Wooden tongue is an infection caused by the rod-shaped bacterium called Actinobacillus ligniaceae, which lives only in the presence of the oxygen. The bacteria, which lives in the mouth, invade tissue through breaks in the lining of the mouth. Any raw feed can cause mouth abrasions which allow entry of infection. Wooden tongue occurs almost entirely in soft tissue with the tongue and lymph nodes of the head most often affected. The disease starts suddenly with the tongue becoming hard, swollen and painful. Affected animals drool saliva and may appear to be chewing gently. The tongue often protrudes between the lips and nodules and ulcers may be observed on the tongue. They are unable to eat or drink and rapidly lose condition. The disease is progressive and often fatal unless treated. Now let's know about ringworm. Ringworm is a transmissible infectious skin disease caused most often by Trichophyton verrucosum, a spore-forming fungi. The spores can remain alive for years in a dry environment. It occurs in all species of mammals, including cattle and man. Although unsightly, fungal infection cause little permanent damage or economic loss. Now let's know about trichomoniasis. Trichomoniasis is a venereal disease of cattle that causes infertility and occasional abortions in cows and heifers. It is caused by Trichomonas fetus, a small motile protozoan found only in the reproductive tract of the bull and cow. Disease organism transferred to the cow's vagina from the bull during breeding migrate up to the uterus and cause the infection. Recently, infected cows develop a mild white sticky discharge from the valve which can last for up to 2 months. Large number of cows, often over 90% of the herd, will be affected in herd that have not been previously infected. Repeated breeding or infertility of individual cows can last up to 5 months. The reason for repeat breeding appears to be death of the embryo, often within 10 days. Eventually, cows begin to cycle again and can carry a fetus to term. Now, let's know about another disease called vibriosis. Vibriosis in the cattle is an infectious bacterial disease of the genital tract causing infertility and occasional abortions. It is a venereal disease spread by infected bulls when they mate susceptible cows and heifers. It is considered to be the most important cause of infertility in cattle. Good vaccines are available, but it still causes losses simply because they are not used in many herds. Infection introduced into a non-exposed and non-vaccinated herd will spread rapidly during breeding. Now, another disease. Let's know about another disease. Warts. Warts in cattle are caused by the contagious virus papilloma virus. Four types of virus are known to produce warts. on cattle. Now let's know about last disease. Let's know about pinkei. Pinkei, that is infectious bovine keratoconjunctivitis, is a common infectious disease affecting the eyes of cattle. The name describes the redness and inflammation of the lining of the eyelid and eyeball. Although pineki is non-fatal, it has a marked economic impact on the cattle industry. To it is known to occur all at all seasons of the year and in the breeds of cattle. Pinkei and foot rot are the two most prevalent conditions affecting all breeding beef females. Finally finished. Any questions regarding this diseases you can ask me in the comment box. And please kindly subscribe my channel to know more updates about biotech topics. Thank you.